It's Backstage Pass with Steve Ryan. And here's your host, Steve Ryan.
Hey, Susie.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Working hard, but other than that, yeah, fine. It's all I ever know, and that's what I always do. I work
Apparently,
hard.
apparently.
Apparently,
Thank you so much for coming in again.
my pleasure.
You're one of my favorite people, and I love talking to you, obviously, because we've had a number of conversations.
We have.
I just
I
wanted to
like,
tell
I like, I like your choice of backdrop.
the new cover. Yeah, you know what I just noticed while I was setting that up that I didn't notice the first time? If you look in the mirror right there, your face is in the mirror.
You only just saw
I
that?
just noticed it today, this morning.
Okay. It's amazing. It's got my logo on the back, on the t and my wrist, my star on my wrist.
Yeah.
It's my vision of an album cover. I had a vision. And I said it, and my girlfriend from Australia, she had a picture of me. I said, put that on a bike and send it over. So she sent my vision, and
Yeah.
it's perfect. Yeah, have you ever seen a cover that so much says what that word says?
In so much detail. I
Yeah,
mean, it's so great, Susie. I saw that
thank
I was
you.
setting it up and then I looked in the mirror. It's like, well, there's Susie's face. It was so great. Hey, before we get into the new album, which I want to talk about, I just wanted to tell you. I don't know if you remember, but the last time we talked was about a year ago, and I was going through a pretty difficult time. My sister had just passed, just a
I
couple of
remember.
days before we talked, and
I remember.
some of the things that you said, you were so kind, and some of the things you said have has stuck with me, and really it really did help me in that really difficult time. And I was just trying to stay busy and keep my mind off of stuff. And then all of a sudden, we're talking about your book, and
Yeah.
so I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome. I can't help. I can't help. I'm very sensitive to those kind of things, and I will give help where needed. Always. If I can help, I can help, you know?
Yeah, it did help me a lot. I just wanted to make
Good.
sure
I'm
that
glad.
I told you
I'm
that.
glad. I'm glad.
Hey, Freedom. So I was listening to the single. It's so great. It's so rock and roll. It's so Suzi
Yeah.
Quatro. And you know, did your son help you with this album too? Is that what I read?
Did I what?
Did your son help you on this album as usual?
Help me. Um, this album took on a flavor on its own because we had a different way of writing this album. I don't know why it went this way, it just did. He wrote the tracks. Usually we did everything together. He would write the track, send me the track. Then I would sit there with my bass guitar, my headphones, my lyric book, and find the melody and what it was going to be about. And this was freedom from the first time I heard it. Freedom. And every time I sing the lyric, I have to go free. I have to throw my arms up in the air. I can't help it. We did a video the other day. I did it nonstop because it is the whole album is about personal freedom, finding out who you are, being comfortable in your skin, having nothing left to prove to anybody,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and freedom. Freedom is so important in this world today. That word means a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds so good to me. It sounds like freedom. It sounds like freedom. It sounds like freedom, and it feels so good to me. I've been running on empty, dancing in the shadow. I'm feeling tired.
Man, I love this song. I love it so much. I
Thank you.
can't wait for the whole album to come out. I read that you did a track with Alice Cooper.
Yes, that is the last track on the album. We are now seeing if we can do it as the third single. He has to agree to that, but it is on the album. I did cover of Kick Out the Jams with him in Detroit last September.
Yeah. Man, I love Alice Cooper. He just had a birthday.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
He's born just a few days before my mom. We've been friends since I've been 15, and we've stayed close friends all these years. He's a good man. I adore him. It's nice because we have this friendship with that little bit extra ingredient of always fancying each other
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nothing done about it. So that's a nice little on edge kind of friendship to have.
Yeah. Man, I love him. Susie, you kind of teased this a little bit in the beginning of our conversation about how much you work, and I mean you've sold over 55 million records, and a lot of people, well, there aren't a lot of people in your class, but a lot of people who've had a lot of hits in the past They just live on those hits. They go out and tour, every couple of years and do their thing, but they're not still putting out great records, let alone recording anything. What is it about this job that you've had since you were a child that just you keep doing it?
I still have a lot to say.
Yeah.
I still have a lot to say. I'm always inspired by the world around me. It's my passion. I'll never get tired of entertaining. Um, as long as the people need me, I will continue to serve. That's how I feel I'm doing my job. I'm serving. I'm connecting, I'm communicating, I'm entertaining, and I'm creating.
Yeah.
That's it. What more? That's how it's the reason I was put on this earth, you know?
Yeah. But it's not just records too. I mean, you do your books and you have so many creative avenues you go down. How do you decide, well, yeah, it's time to do a new record?
Uh, well, there is a certain timing to it, every couple of years. So in a couple of years from now, I'll be doing another one. I think it might be Susie and Friends, that one. Writing wise, I'm
Hmm.
always writing, usually at midnight.
Hmm.
Usually, I don't know why that is, but the midnight hour calls and I'm on my typewriter and either a song lyric is starting or a poem's coming out. I've had 8 books published,
Hmm.
3 of them poetry, through my eyes, through my heart, and through my pain. I'm now making them into audiobooks, and I've got about 15 poems ready for my next poetry book.
Wow. Are you going to narrate the audiobooks yourself?
Yes, I've been told that I'm allowed to do it, so I'm trying to find out who to go to. I've never done this before, but I have been doing it in my studio. I'm now nearly done with book number 2, and I am loving, but
Yeah.
boy, is it intense. Boy, is it intense. Loving doing it, but I wrote the thing, so it came from my heart, from my experience. And as you're reading it, you're going through the whole thing again. And it's
Yeah.
really hard not to break down. It's very, very emotional. And I hope it's gonna affect people that way. I think hearing the poems said in the voice of the author are
Yeah.
quite special.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to write it, I guess. It's probably a whole nother thing to say it out loud.
I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love giving my poems a voice. Now there's the intro over the audio tape. I love
Yeah.
giving my poems a voice. Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. How many albums have you done?
I think this is number 19.
Wow. Wow. Just above the new album cover, I have your second album cover. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
I
That's actually
love
the first. That's actually the first album.
Suzi Quatro is the first album.
Yeah. And that there's a funny story about that. I sent that album home when it came out, obviously, so excited for my parents to see. Finally, here's the album come out. And I called them about a week later and I said, "Did you get it? Did you get it?" My dad said, "Yes, we got it." He said, "Now, I know you're in love with one of the musicians in the band." I said, "I am." He said, "Please tell me it's not the guy drinking the beer with his hand down his pants." And I said, "That's the one." He said, "I knew it."
Oh, that's so great.
Who
I
else could
love,
it be?
yeah, I love that album cover. It's on my wall. I mean, it's looking
Yeah, it's
down
a
every
good,
time I do an
yeah.
interview. I love it so much. Hey, I was in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and I'm walking through the hotel casino that I was staying at. I had been invited down to watch the babies play, and so I went down and
Okay,
I was watching. They put on a great show. Anyway, I'm walking through the casino, and Stumbling In comes on,
of course.
but it's got this dance beat behind it. Have you
That's
heard
the
that?
Sure. That's been a million sell all over the world again with Cyril. He's a friend of mine. And it's great because it gave that song another airing.
For you, whatever you do, 'cause baby, you show me so many things that I never knew. Whatever it takes, baby, I'll do it for you. Our love is alive. It's so we begin. Foolishly laying our hearts on the table, stumbling in.
And people love it. I play a little bit of it on stage and then I go, "And now the original." Then everybody goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So it's one of my evergreens.
Yeah.
It just is. One of those songs. Every artist has one. This is the one people love from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's the one Americans know you the best from, which is kind of
Yes.
crazy considering the catalog, huh?
Yeah, it is. They dis America really properly discovered me through Leather Tuscadero,
Yeah.
which is completely opposite of the rest of the world. I was touring there in 74. My albums were being played. I had lower end chart hits and all that, but nothing hit, not the singles didn't hit huge there, but everybody knew who I was. And then all of a sudden, 77, and everybody knows who I am. Oh, she's that girl.
Hmm.
She sang that and that and that and that. And then I had this huge hit with Stumblin, which is not my normal thing.
No.
No, just the
How,
way it panned out.
yeah. And then, we've talked before and you had mentioned that Gary Marshall had offered you a spinoff. How do you
He
think
did.
your life would have changed had you said yes?
I would not have been Suzi Quatro anymore.
Yeah.
And I spent my whole life being her. I'd given Leather Tuscadero 3 seasons. I got the second most fan mail after the Fonz. Everybody loved the character. I gave it enough of my time, you
Yeah.
know? It's a nice memory. It's a nice preserved memory forever on celluloid, you know?
Yeah. You like acting though, don't you?
I
Yeah.
love I love everything creative.
Yeah.
Acting would have been my second choice. It's right up there with entertaining, but music just had that little edge. But yeah, I do love acting.
Yeah.
I am a good actress. I've been told.
Yeah. You know, can, kind of launched you around the world. And I was just thinking about it because I was streaming your music this morning as I was getting ready for us to talk. And of course, it comes on. It's the first song that always comes on.
So make a stand for your man, honey. Try to can. Put your man in the can, honey. Get up while you can.
I was just thinking, had this song not popped, would Suzi Quatro have stayed in the UK working on these things, or would she have come home? Have you thought about that? What do you think would have happened had that first hit not hit?
Um, I think I believe in following the journey, and I believe everything happens for a reason. I think I probably would have been of the mindset I'm here. I've got good people around me. Okay, this wasn't the one. Let's just keep walking down the road.
Yeah.
I don't do regret and I don't do surrender.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that about you.
Yeah. Yeah. I am a determined girl. I would have kept going till I got to where I was supposed to be.
Yeah. I watched your documentary, Susie Q, and we have talked about that in the past, but I hadn't seen it yet. And I
Yeah.
watched it about, I don't know, 6 months ago or so.
Right.
And you had talked to me about how at the premiere you kind of hung back in the back and you were watching all of these other famous female musicians talk about what an influence you were on their career. And we had talked about that, but man, watching it is a whole nother thing. And you had talked about how emotional you got. I got
Oh,
emotional for you. I mean, what a tribute.
oh, it's incredible to not have any idea that that's what you've done, because that isn't why I did it. I was just being me. And then to see that played out in front of your eyes, I was in tears.
Yeah.
I just kept going, what? I kept saying to myself, I did what? I did that. I did. And now I humbly accept the accolades. And I do realize what I've done now. I didn't know I was doing it, but I did it. And thank goodness, because somebody needed to break down the door. I broke down the door because I didn't see the door.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the truth. But I will take those accolades to my grave.
It's still crazy to me, mind blowing that you didn't, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you didn't really realize that until you watched the documentary. But man, Susie, I don't know how you could not see what a force you were for so many people. And then of course the documentary brings it home to you. But man, I mean, you're humble about it, and I appreciate that. But there is no denying the place Susie Quatro has in rock and roll.
Well, I always believed in my force. I didn't realize I was being unique. I didn't realize I couldn't play the bass. I didn't realize I couldn't be a rock and roll star. I didn't realize that I couldn't do anything that I wanted to do. That's my attitude. Like that picture behind you says, freedom to be who you are. Yeah, it needed to, when I look back at it at the age of 75 now, it was going to happen sooner or later, let's be honest. There'd be a woman come through like me, but it had to fall to a woman like me
Yeah.
who had no idea she was doing it. This is the secret.
Yeah.
It was natural. I
Yeah.
was not manufactured. I was just being me. Isn't that
Yeah.
nice to know?
Yeah. It wasn't an agenda. You didn't go out there with an agenda. You were just doing what came to you
What came?
naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you think about it, I'm from 5 children, musical family, 4 girls, 1 boy. And I remember my father was a musician. I remember going to him and said, Dad, Patty and Arlene and me, we're going to start an all girl band, 3 of his daughters out of 4. He said, good. I said, I'm playing bass. Do you have one? He said, sure. And he went and gave me his 1957 Fender Precision. Now, I didn't grow up thinking this was an unusual request.
Yeah.
So I didn't go into business thinking, oh, I'm a female musician. I didn't get it. I just was a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was what you felt for me when you saw me. Not like I was a girl trying to prove anything. I
Right.
think everybody I've talked to says that. It was just me being me.
Yeah. The new album was reading is licensed to Chrysalis, and it dawned on me when I read that there was a lot of powerful women back in the big days of Chrysalis Records, on that label. Blondie was on that label, Pat Benatar. I mean, and it just sounds. I read that, it's like, well, it's like Susie Coming Home, because it's a record
Yeah.
label that wasn't afraid of female rockers.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And well, Mickey was the first one to sign me up. And then kept saying to me, you're unique, you're unique. That thought just came to me. He said to me before I made it, we were talking because we spent a lot of time talking. And he said, you're unique, and this is his vision. You are going to appeal to gay guys, gay girls, straight guys, and straight girls. He said, you've got something across the board.
Yeah.
It's almost it's not normal, whatever that is, but I make him right. So
Yeah.
I don't do gender. This is probably what it is. I myself don't actually do gender. Yes, I'm female, but I don't do gender.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't let gender do me.
Yeah. I get it. 100%. I was listening to Face to Face, the album you did with KT Tunstall, and we've talked about that a little bit in the past. I love that album. I love that song specifically. That's my go-to song on the album. How did were you two friends when that album, and you just decided to do a project together, or how did you guys
No.
decide to
I
do
are you talking about Shine a Light?
Face to Face?
No, but that
The
one.
song, the title song.
Oh, oh, oh,
I
oh,
love
oh.
that song.
That was the last song we wrote for the album because I said to her, we cannot have this album out without writing a song called Face to Face. And she agreed.
Battle's over, last two standing. Now we realize face to face in conflict and in love. No below and no above. Oh, I know it feels rough now. Face to face, two egos in the light, so addicted to the light. We're flying, dying, living, fighting, face to face.
It just happened by accident. I was watching my documentary. All of a sudden, she was on it. I was a fan. And I'd said a few times I wouldn't mind working with her. I liked her. And I didn't know she was a fan of mine. So we had a mutual friend. He got us in contact. And she invited me to her session in London. We had lunch. We hit it off, obviously. And she then called me and said, would you like to write a song together? I said, sure. She sent me this track. I sent her back my vocals and my idea for words. And she said, okay, and booked the session. It was going to be a track on her album. And I knew there was something more there.
Mm.
but I did not want to be the one to push it. So I said nothing. And I was booked to come in the next day to the studio, stay overnight to the track. She called me the night before, as the universe predicts. And she said, I've canceled you for tomorrow. And I said, why? She said, because this is more than this. I said, yes, it is. I said, why don't you come down to the house for a few days? We'll sit in my front room. We'll be barefoot. We'll talk and we'll write some songs. And that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Was meant to be.
Yeah.
Was meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to, usually when we talk about some of the older stuff, but I was getting into some of your newer stuff and I was listening to the 2021 album, Devil and Me.
Good album. Yeah.
Man, I love that song so much, that title song.
Listen to your heartbeat. It will pave the way. Will the angels guard the devil in me? Will they shine their lights so I can see? Will the angels guard that devil in me?
The guitar is so dirty and sexy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Man, that's such
Yeah.
a great track. Do you play a lot of the newer songs on your in your shows, or do you kind of stick to the hits?
No, everything gets an airing in my shows, so you do tend to hear at least one track from every single album.
Wow.
Freedom will now open Act 2. So you get all your favorite hits, you get favorite album tracks, and you get music from 73 to 2026. 2 hour show with an interval, and you go on the journey with me.
Yeah. Man, I love that song so much. Well, I was just going to we've talked about your experience with Elvis and, you covered one of his songs and stuff, but who was, you got into music so early in your life. I was just wondering, besides Elvis, who were pivotal artists that you were as a child, that kind of lit that fire for you?
Well, the ones that besides Elvis, I would say, and I did a lot of his songs in my show, Otis Redding, big influence.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Billie Holiday.
Wow.
Somebody turned me onto her quite young, and I ended up falling in love with her and her way of going behind the beat. I love that. James Jamerson on bass from Motown, of course. Ken Heap, love them. All the Motown, everything at Motown in the 60s, big fan. Yeah. In fact, it was funny. I was going to say Janis Joplin, but I can't say that because I have to say it this way. When I heard Piece of My Heart on the radio, I wasn't successful yet. And I remember, strangely enough, thinking, oh, that could have been my song.
Wow.
So I heard something that I could relate to
Yeah.
from
Wow.
another female. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the balls, and I have the balls. That's what we share.
Yeah. We, you said one time you said, I never wanted to be a singer in a band. I wanted to be the band. You just wanted to make the noise, huh?
I was behind the drums for about a month. No, thank you. I was behind the keyboards for about, no, thank you. Give me the bass out the front where I belong. I'm an out the front entertainer. I'm in your face. Okay. Yeah.
You ever going to do shows in America? Do you?
Yeah, I hope so. We always are trying to, and things always go wrong. But put it this way, if it's meant to be, it will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. Yeah. I would like to.
Man, I'd love to come to your show. My girlfriend is actually going to the UK in 2 weeks.
Oh, well, I'm doing a big 10-day UK tour in April.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I would love to catch a show, Suzi. I was streaming the catalog this morning, and the track from the Wild One came on. The Race Is On. Man, I love that song. I mean, it's just
We did that one for a long time on stage. I don't do that one. Some come in and go out. That one was in for a long time and then it went back out. But it is a good song, and it was a true story.
Here we stand like a couple of fools, and the race is on. Hand in hand as we break the rules, and the race is on. What's become to the one who lost when the race goes wrong? You may say, why begin when we both can win, but the race goes on. Hand in hand like a couple of fools, and the race
The show is always a good cross section, so nobody leaves unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it was 75, your third album, Your Mama Won't Like Me.
Good album.
I love that song.
I like your stimulation, but that ain't enough. So don't take me home, baby. Nah, 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 'cause your mama won't like me. Oh. So don't take me home, honey, now. Nah, 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 'cause your mama won't like me.
I love that song so much. It's a rocker, but it's groovy at the same time. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Well, the
Man.
track that I love from that album, the one that which we did play "Mama Won't Like Me" for a long time, but I've now put back into the set. I bit off more than I could chew.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I never knew I bit off more than I could chew. When you handed me the apple, I should have said no to you. Oh, mama, mama, mama. Oh, well, I guess you always knew that I bit off, I bit off, I bit off, I bit off more than I could chew.
Yeah.
Oh, now that I always say it, that track from the original band lineup was the best in the pocket track we ever put down. So much so when we were recording it, we went on for about 15 minutes and finally Mike pressed stop. I said, Jesus, Mike, why did you let us keep playing? He said it was too good.
Wow.
It hit the groove.
You know what else is on that album? You do a cover of Fever.
Yes.
Why did you pick that?
Well, it's traditional that I do 2 covers on every album, and I usually always do an Elvis one. I love that track. I love the bass line on that track. You know, that is a master class in bass playing, that bass line.
Now you've listened to my story. Here's a point that I have made. Chicks were born to give you fever, be it Fahrenheit or centigrade. They give you fever, when you kiss them. Fever if you live and learn. Fever till you sizzle.
It's the best. I've been doing that song since I've been a teenager.
Yeah. Oh man, I love your version of that. So, so you're gonna take Freedom on the road, or at least in April in the UK. What else is coming up for Suzi Quatro in 2026?
Well, the album comes out March
March.
27th. Yep. What else? I've got lots of gigs coming up. I'm just working. Somebody said I was the hardest working woman in show business, and that I will say guilty.
Yeah, but it's not a job, right? It doesn't feel like a job to you, does it?
No, I love what I do.
Yeah. Man, I love talking to you, Suzi. I love talking to you so much. I was so happy when Michael sent me the information on Freedom and got to listen
Excellent.
to the track. You've been on a number of times, and it's like, oh, there's Steve again. He wants to talk, but you've never turned me down, and I appreciate that so much. And I'm right at exactly the amount of time I promised Michael I would keep you. So I'm gonna let you do
My
your
pleasure.
day. But thank you so much, Suzi.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk again.
Yes, I hope so.
And you keep your thoughts upwards, okay?
Always. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Goodbye, my friend.
See ya.
Okay.
Goodbye. Speak soon.
Okay.
For questions or comments, email Steve at steveryan.songoftheday@gmail.com.